Namaha. Hari Om. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Deva, Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Yo Nityamachyutapadaam Bhujayugmarukmam Vyamo Hatastadidhara Nitrana Yameni Asmadguru Bhagavatosya Deikasindho Ramanujasya Charano Sharanam Prapadhi. Yasya Smaranamatreena Dvaitavasana Pramachyate Bodhatmakaya Namastasmai Bhagavate Shri Ramanamarshi Hridakashe Sada Bhantam Shantam Anandarupinam Jnanabhadamaham Vande Sadgurum Shri Sathya Sainam Mama Antaryaminam. Saira. A very happy, holy, sacred, Merry Christmas to everybody. Whether anybody else celebrates Christmas or not, we always celebrate Christmas. We usually have a Saptaham scheduled for that time. That's our way of celebrating it. So this time also, we will celebrate it with a Saptaham on Prasanthi Vahini. Prasanthi Vahini is something that has been written by Swami himself. Back in the days when Swami started Sanatana Sarathi, the monthly magazine, the thing with starting these magazines is you got to have articles in the magazine. No? Otherwise, if you start a magazine, how will we publish it every month? So Swami himself volunteered. He said, I will give you the articles for the magazine. So it made the lives of the editors very easy. All they had to do is go and pick up the article that Swami would handwrite in Telugu, and it was published in the Telugu Sanatana Sarathi in serial form. So Swami would write a little bit. That month it will be published. The next month it will be. All the Vahinis were written like that. They were later translated into English. Vahini in a stream. And each of those Vahinis has got a name. Prasanthi Vahini, the stream of highest peace. Prema Vahini, the stream of love. Jnana Vahini, Dhyana Vahini, Vidya Vahini. Sathya Sai Vahini, Bhagavata Rasa Vahini, Ramakatha Rasa Vahini, Bhagavata Vahini, Gita Vahini, Sutra Vahini, Leela Kaivalya Vahini, Upanishad Vahini. And Swami wrote so many Sandeha Nivarani. All of these were written by Swami himself. And we've been looking at so many different scriptures so far. But at the same time, I wasn't sure how familiar people are with Swami's literature. That Swami, when we say Swami's literature, Swami himself has created it, written it and given it to us. So, since we're all children of Swami, it is important for us to become familiar with Swami's literature. See we know what the core message of Swami is, but the way Swami has expressed it so beautifully in the Vahinis is something that we have as a duty upon us to become familiar with. How many of you have read the Vahinis? I don't know. At least people may know that certain things called Vahinis exist. Otherwise, how many years you may have been with Swami, but have you read it? No. But the question arises, then why did Swami write it? For what purpose did Swami take the pains and effort to write it? Yeah. All the Shastras, the reason why we study the Shastras is in one way to honor the people who wrote it. Now, they wrote it, they gave their time, their effort, their energy, and their involvement into writing it. But we've got to honor that, respect that, revere that, and pay gratitude towards them. So that is why we study the Shastras. As you study the Shastras, you keep alive their spirit. So then, in the same line of thinking, when we look at what Swami has done, Swami has written these Vahinis. In sweet Telugu. Telugu is so beautiful. I was listening to the Telugu version while going through some of the English, the translation that is there. I've changed here and there based on what I felt was more appropriate to what Swami was saying. So if you have a book in front of you or and you want to go through it, you can, but you will find certain passages will change, certain lines will change. It just made it a bit more, I felt, more appropriate to Swami's original intent. It is important, therefore, for us to, even if we can't read the Telugu and enjoy the original language of Swami, at least we can read the English or understand or hear the English and get the essence, the message of Swami into us. So with that motive, with that intention, with that sankalpa, we are taking up Prasanthi Vahini, and we hope by Swami's grace this will be the first in a long line, a long series of various Vahinis that Swami has composed. So we are going to use the original text of Swami, the English version of it, as our Moola Grantham. Let's just go with what Swami has to say. Readers, this is how Swami starts. Readers, may the stream of prema put down the burning fires of disquiet, ignorance, injustice and irreligion that is consuming you, and may it slake your thirst. May it shower on you peace, joy and happiness. This is how Swami starts Prasanthi Vahini. Let me blessing. Generally, texts have Palashruti. After reading the whole text, right at the end, Falashruti will be there. By reading this, you will get all these things. The fruits of reading, the benefits of reading the text. Swami has got his own unique approach. He starts by telling us what are the benefits. In fact, not just benefits. He doesn't say it merely as benefits. He said these are the blessings that you will get. May the readers, may the stream of Prema Vahini, although it is called Prasanthi Vahini, and Swami ki ellam Prema da. For Swami, everything is Prema. Doesn't matter whether Swami is talking about Sathya, Dharma, Shanti or Ahimsa. All the 5 human values, Swami says, have got their basis as Prema only. Prema becomes the fundamental. It is Prema in various forms that become the other values. Love in speech becomes truth, love in action becomes righteousness, love in feeling becomes peace, love in thought becomes Ahimsa, etc. So that's why Swami here says, may the stream of love. Now, you've got to understand that means, this is the beauty of it. You must understand what is Prasanthi Vahini. As far as Swami is concerned, Prasanthi Vahini these are not just words that Swami is writing, but this is a stream of love that comes forth from his heart to us. May the stream of love. Every single word that Swami has written, Swami is writing out of the great love that he bears for us. So when we read it, we are receiving Swami's love. When we expose ourselves to Prasanthi Vahini, we are dipping ourselves in that stream, cool waters of Swami's love, Swami's prema. So what will happen then? Swami says it will put down the burning fires of disquiet, ashanti, disquiet na ashanti, restlessness, ajnana, anyaya, injustice, and adharma. Ashanti, ajnana, anyaya, adharma. These are the 4 things that have been listed by Swami: disquiet, ignorance, injustice, and irreligion. Irreligion, adharma. Ashanti is the main illness that Swami is hoping to cure by Prasanthi Vahini. Ashanti na lack of peace, restlessness, fear, anxiety, worries, etc. All the things that disturb us from our natural state. All of that is Ashanti. The cause for all Ashanti is Ajnana only. Not knowing the truth is what is giving rise to all of this. For our Jnana Vedanta Institute also, the motto or the statement that we chose is inner peace through right understanding. Inner peace through right understanding. How does right understanding come up? When you expose yourself to this teaching in the right manner with Shraddha, understanding will dawn upon us. When understanding comes, Shanti will come to us. Because Ajnana Nivritti alone can be Shanti. Peace can be had only when ignorance is destroyed. Otherwise, we cannot have peace. What we will have as peace is not really peace. That's what Swami is going to talk to us about. Anyaya. Anyaya அப்படின்னா ஒரு unfairness, injustice. Most of the time in life, we are struggling against what we perceive as injustice or unfairness. This is not right. This is not fair. அப்படின்னு நமக்கு தோணும். But then again, here Swami says, what can quench that fire of injustice or that righteous indignation within us? Prema will quench it. Fair or unfair, whether it is fair or unfair, the children are fighting. Two children are fighting. It is not fair. You took more than me. It is not fair. You took less than me. No chanda, they are fighting. And seeing the fight going on, mother comes there and takes the child and gives a big kiss to the child and says, it's all right. What is wrong with you? No, it's okay. She showers the love. What happens? The love is not going to increase the size of the chocolate that the child got. Child is fighting because two children are fighting. You got a bigger chocolate than I did. When the mother takes up the child and gives a kiss, the size of the chocolate is not going to increase. But the unfairness has disappeared. The sense of unfairness disappears. Shanti. Shanti makes that sense of unfairness also disappear. Prema makes that sense of unfairness also disappear. And that's why Swami says here, may the stream of prema quench these fires of injustice or unfairness and adharma that is consuming you, and may it slake your thirst. And the Vishayam Bodhar Swami here. May it slake your thirst. That's only for those who are thirsty. Those who are thirsty. Thirsty for what? Thirsty for the truth. Thirsty for attaining the supreme. For them, it will quench their thirst. For all the others, for those who do not have the thirst, because they are busy putting out these fires, they cannot indulge themselves in a search for God, because they are still struggling with their day-to-day affairs. Swami's prema, Swami says, is whether you are a mumukshu, interested only in truth, only in God, doesn't matter, even then it is going to be of help to you. It will quench your thirst. On the other hand, are you just an ordinary artharthi? You may not be a jignasu yet. Artha, artharthi, jignasu, jnani, 4 categories of people Bhagavan speaks about in the Bhagavad Gita. Those who are afflicted with worldly miseries and cannot seem to get out of those miseries. They seem to be overwhelmed by it. They cannot think about aspiring to attain God and so on. It is enough if my trouble goes away. For those people also, Swami says, this Prema Vahini, Prasanthi Vahini is enough. May it shower on you peace, joy and happiness. Shanti, Sukhamu, Anandam. May it confer all these on us. Swami first gives us the blessing. So we are starting, Swami would alakhe. Even when Swami started his discourses, Swami would always say, Divyatma Swarupa Lara, Prema Swarupa Lara. Then he will start the discourse. The end of the discourse is understanding that we are Divyatma Swarupas. The purpose of listening to the discourse is to ultimately recognize and realize we are Prema Swarupas. But that is the end. But Swami starts with that as the beginning. Prema Swarupa Lara. Divyatma Swarupa Lara. Swami starts off by giving us the title already. It is not something that we have got to win after listening to the discourse. We go into the discourse bearing the title, bearing the award. Before you run the race, you get the prize for it. You get the prize after running the race. Swami gives the prize even before we start the race. Prize is given, now run. Why should we run now? For fun you run. Run for fun. Because we already won. Too much rhyming. You run for fun because you already won. You don't run to win. You already won. Abdiya Swami blesses us, gives us the blessing and then starts us off with his divine, supreme divine words. Let us see what those words are. Here Swami starts Prasanthi Vahini. There are many people who are not aware of even the meaning of the word Prasanthi. Asal Prasanthi, this is how Swami starts in Telugu. Asal Prasanthi. Really, actually speaking, what is Prasanthi? What is the meaning of the word Prasanthi? A lot of people do not even know. It is as the backbone to each individual, and for the sadhaka, it is as the very breath. The word is taken by each to mean something different. Many feel they have peace when some worldly desire that was vexing them is satisfied. But that is not real peace. It is but a temporary, short-lived interval between one worry and another. The syllable pra in Prasanthi means expanding, enlarging, vikasa. And so, Prashanti means that type of Shanti. Expanding Shanti, enlarging Shanti. So many people don't even know the meaning of the word Prashanti. Shantiye theriyadu. You do not even know the meaning of the word Shanti. Shanti, peace. You know what is peace. What is peace? And Swami clearly says what it is not first. Because how do you understand what something is? But by first removing the misconception that we already have of what it is. That is why in the truth also first what we are told is you are not the body. Instead of telling you what you are told what you are not. Neti, 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 not this, not this, not this. Why all this negative nonsense of not this? Why not say this, this, this? Why not this? Because first we've got to get rid of the wrong idea, understanding that we have of what it is. We think it is something, the problem. If we say I do not know, then it is a good starting point. I don't know. We can be taught. Even if we thought we know, when Swami says you do not know, we've got to accept it and say, oh, maybe we do not know. What Swami means is something else. First, that humility has to be there to accept that we do not know. That's why Swami starts off here with this, by poking as it were. How does Swami start? Most of you do not even know what is Prashanti. But what is he doing? Getting rid of misconceptions, preconceived ideas of what Prashanti is in our mind. Lena, oh, I know what Prashanti is. What is Prashanti? Theriyuma. Swami says most people think that Shanti or peace is something that is attained when some disturbance goes away. Bada, Shanti Markripada. Now I feel peaceful. Something has gone away. Something that was annoying has gone away. Now I feel peaceful. That is alright. That is nothing wrong with that. Provided that lasts. Provided that is continuing. But what happens usually, Swami says here, it is but a temporary, short-lived interval between one worry and another. Because what is the beauty of the human mind? It jumps from worry to worry. It jumps from anxiety to anxiety. Somehow we get some worry or the other. We first think, oh, I better get the first dose. I'm worried. When will I get the first dose? I have to get appointment for first dose. First dose, second dose appointment, it is getting late. They are saying we should get it before this date. Second dose vaccine, worry. After you get the second dose also, I have to get the booster. I don't know when I will get the booster and worry. Like this, things will keep coming. Worry after worry will keep coming to us. What should life be? Life should be between Hari and Hari. Anna, it is between worry and worry. Hari, 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 Hari. Sarvada, Sarvakaleshu, Sarvatra, Hari Chintanam. Hari, 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 Hari will be there. Instead, where is it now? In between Hari, worry, 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 worry. It cannot be Shanti which is punctuated by worry. It is not temporary. It is not short-lived. It cannot be called real peace. What is real peace? Something that is expanding, enlarging. It keeps expanding, keeps growing. What keeps growing? The amount of peace, the time that you spend in peace keeps growing. Though I had half an hour of peace, body. When I listen to the satsang, it is so peaceful. About 1.5 hours of peace I have. After that, I'm going to go back to the lack of peace again. Go back to Ashanti. It is okay, it's good. But what needs to happen? That's fine. Maybe you start like that. But then that 1 hour, 1.5 hours of Shanti, of satsang, maybe will enlarge, it'll go and say, oh, I felt for half the day, I felt peaceful today. Or maybe from the whole day, I felt peaceful today. Like this, it increases. What is happening? It is not that Shanti is increasing, it is that worries are being kept at bay for longer. This we will understand as we go on. We will understand what is Shanti. When Swami speaks about the real nature of Shanti, we will understand that it is not something to be acquired from somewhere. It is our very nature. It is our very essential core being, our very nature. Because we are not acquainted with it. We have become so acquainted with Ashanti. We saw that in Tripura Rahasyam also the other day. Because we become so acquainted with the state of not having peace that we fail to recognize our real nature as peace. We think peace is also something to be acquired. Maybe we think our real nature is Ashanti. And Shanti is what we have to acquire. It's not true. If you think in those lines, you'll be proceeding in the wrong direction, doing the wrong things. Another misconception. Our real nature is Shanti. All we have got to do is keep away anything that disturbs Shanti. So, Papa. So, it is expanding, enlarging, Vikasa. Shanti is that type of Shanti. And now Swami gives a definition of it. He has told what it is not. Now he is going to define it. It is the Kama Krodha Rahityame Shanti. Swami defines Shanti as the absence of Kama and Krodha. What is Shanti? Kama Krodha Rahityam. The absence of Kama and Krodha. Kama, desire. Krodha, appadina, not merely anger. Hatred. Hatred. Appadina, in fact, you can say Kama and Krodha to be the grown-up forms of Raga and Dvesha. Raga, Dvesha, likes and dislikes. I like this, I dislike this. Smaller, when it is in nursery, pre-KG or primary school, it is called as Raga and Dvesha. When they grow up and graduate, they become Kama and Krodha. A small child doesn't have Kama and Krodha. No? As you grow up only you develop all. Until then, small child also has Raga and Dvesha. I like this, I don't like this is there even in a small child. The I like this becomes desire as it grows up bigger. When you like something, what happens? I want it. I want to have it. A desire. Krodha. What is Krodha? Krodha is the dislike magnified. I may dislike something, but when the dislike magnifies, I start to hate it. And along with hatred comes feelings of anger, feelings of disgust, feelings of loathing, etc. Ella chendana Krodha. The word Krodha can be properly translated as only that, not mere anger. Desire and anger matra solla mudiyadhu. Desire and hatred. And when you don't like something, you are filled with so much disquiet in you, so much restlessness in you. That's Krodha. Prashanti means success in elimination of these qualities grouped under Kama and Krodha. Well, there are several qualities that are grouped under these terms, looks like. That's Swami children. Swami says Prashanti means success, Siddhi, success. In what? In eliminating all of these qualities that are grouped under Kama and Krodha. That is why it is not acquiring Shanti, it is eliminating everything that is detrimental to my pre-existing Shanti. I already have peace. But what is coming and disturbing it? Swami says the groups of qualities under Kama and Krodha. Parango. Kama Krodha mein porado. Is Kama and Krodha alone not enough now? Do you have to eliminate groups? The entire qualities grouped under them. What qualities are grouped under them? And in Partal, for instance, under Kama, under desire, you will not understand it, or you might find it a bit surprising. Tension, stress is under Kama. You're worried, you're stressed out. Why are you stressed out? Because you desire to succeed. Your desire for success, your desire for getting it right, your desire for approval and approbation is making you stressed out because what if it is wrong? What will they say? What will people say? How will I be judged? How will I be evaluated? The stress and worry, it is all because of Kama only. So, what does Swami say here? The elimination of the qualities grouped under Kama and Krodha. Dislike and the hatred, anger, all of those are grouped under Krodha. Desire, greed, stress and worry, anxiety, all of these are grouped under Kama. Are these not the entire gamut of emotions that are causing trouble to us? If all of these are gone, then I will remain in my natural state. When I want something, I am upset. When I can't get what I want, I am even more upset. When I want something itself, I am upset because I woke up happily. And suddenly, I wanted something. I remembered, I want this. The moment that want comes in, my happiness is gone. My Shanti in the morning has gone away. Because until I get it, I am anxious. Now when I find out that getting it is going to become more and more difficult, then I become even more upset. And all that Swami says here first, get rid of the qualities that are grouped under Kama and Krodha. only then you can get Prashanti. Prashanti means success in eliminating these qualities. How do you eliminate them naturally? That is the next question. Swami will have to answer that. Otherwise, how can you write Prasanthi Vahini? Yeah. So then if I have to eliminate this process of elimination, this process is called Shama. And it is very essential for all of us. Swami children, this process called Shama. Shama na control of senses. Shama Dhaman Shodron, yeah. And the Samadhamadi Shadguna. Adala Shama. It is the control of the senses. This is the first step in the process in eliminating all the negative qualities that are eating away into my Shanti. This is essential, very essential for all. The sadhaka must be constantly engaged in practicing it. After all, what does the sadhaka strive for? Sadhaka. Then the word that we use for a spiritual aspirant. Sadhaka. What is he striving for? Edyo sadhikyanum garadanaladane sadhakan. Edyo sadhikyanum. Tamil solluna. Edyo sadhikyanum. Sadinchali. I have to attain something. I have got to gain something. That's sadhana. That's sadhaka. Process is sadhana. Person who is doing that process is sadhaka. And when he accomplishes it, it is called siddhi. Success. What is the success? Fulfillment. Swami is going to use the word fulfillment. What does the sadhaka strive for? Fulfillment. Is it not? The sadhaka must be constantly engaged in practicing it. After all, what does the sadhaka strive for? Fulfillment. Is it not? Shanti is fulfillment. What is that fulfillment? Shanti is that fulfillment. First, we've got to then become very clear and understanding what is our sadhana for. Sadhana pandro. For what purpose are we doing sadhana? If the goal is not clear, then the direction will also not be clear. If the destination is not clear, then the direction will always be wrong. Because we do not know where we are going. Then how will we go there? We do not know whether to turn right or left when we do not know where our destination is. We do not know whether to go east or west when we do not know which direction we are. Where is the destination? Yeah. Destination, if you know the destination, somehow you can keep going in that direction at least. Somehow you will reach there. And I do not know. I can see the mountain there. I have to keep going. At least you will walk towards the mountain. If you don't know where the mountain is, which direction will you go? That is why first and foremost Swami says here, what is it that you are striving for? As a sadhaka, what are you striving for? Shanti. Shanti is what we are striving for. It is not some state. We are not striving for some special powers, special recognition, special acknowledgement. Sometimes people are wondering, am I making progress in my sadhana? Why are they wondering? I don't feel anything. What are you not feeling? Are you not feeling peaceful? No, I'm feeling peaceful. But I'm not feeling anything else. What else are you expecting? I'm not seeing lights. I'm not hearing sounds. I'm not having visions. Nobody is understanding that I'm doing sadhana. That's a problem. What is the problem? I am succeeding. No, they don't understand I'm succeeding. They don't give me the respect due. Are you doing sadhana so that you'll be respected? Swami is making it very clear. What are you doing sadhana for? For your own shanti. So if you are peaceful, your sadhana is succeeding. The more shanti you are finding within yourself, the more success you are finding in your sadhana. Whether others recognize it or not. On the other hand, if you are going to lose your peace because others are not recognizing you, you can understand clearly how wonderfully you are practicing or progressing in your sadhana. Yeah? Shanti, epperpatta shanti na. Yaar enna sonna enakku enna pochu. And the shanti. They are saying this, they are saying, how does it matter to me? I am enjoying so much peace. Ramana Bhagavan, after he came to Tiruvannamalai, people asked him one day, he was going through, even when he was in Madurai, after the death experience that he had, he entered into a state of shanti. A state was there. Much later, when he came to Tiruvannamalai only, some other people would come and sit in his presence and read spiritual books, texts, shastras. Adilalam Bhagavan would listen to it and he will find it tallying exactly with the experience that he has had. With Bhagavan, Muruganar used to say, Ramana Bhagavan was the one person who understood the Brahman even without knowing the word Brahman. He was 17-year-old, he was not exposed to that all that. He understood the Brahman even without knowing what it is, even without hearing the word Brahman. So at that time he was not seeking anything, he was not an aspirant, but he got the experience. When he got the experience, he didn't even know what it was. Later on, when people asked him, they said, didn't you feel like knowing what it was? Our Chonar, he said, I don't know, I thought it was a disease. Bhagavan says, I thought it was a disease. But it was a very comfortable disease, so I didn't find any need to complain about it. Disease was a comfortable disease, some disease I have, but I find a lot of pleasure in it. But problem? Pain problem. There is no pain, only pleasure. Who will complain? I don't know why I'm feeling so happy. I don't know what disease it is. So I find I was so peaceful. That is what we are striving for. Once you attain that, then you will not even feel the need to tell somebody that you are peaceful. You will not even find the need to ask somebody, is it Shanti? Shanti vandudutuna, if you are peaceful, who do you need to go and ask to find out whether you are peaceful or not? Ramakrishna Paramahamsa used to tell the little story of a small child that went to bed and told its mother, wake me up when I have to go to the toilet. Wake me up when I feel I have to go to the toilet. Mother said, that urge itself will wake you up. You don't need somebody to tell you, when you have to go to the toilet, that itself will wake you up. Okay. Like that, please tell me when I am peaceful. Please tell me when I become peaceful. There's no need for anybody to come and wake you up and tell you are peaceful now. You will automatically be in peace. Whose opinion will you then require? Shanti. You will be in such a state of fulfillment that you do not require anybody else's approval or approbation. You know you have it. That is why it is called fulfillment. You are filled with fullness. What is fulfillment? When you are filled up because you are full, that is called fulfillment. Niraivu. In Tamil we use the word niraivu. Completion. Fullness. Shanti is fulfillment. In other words, he strives for Shanti. Now, this Shanti is the innate nature of man. It is our Swabhava. What is Shanti? Shanti is our Swabhava. Shanti is also our Swarupa. Upanishad says, Shantoyam Atma. The Atma itself is Shanti. Shanti is our Swabhava and Swarupa. Swarupa means our real form. Swabhava, our real nature. Our real form and our real nature. What is the form of light? Light. What is the nature of light? Light. What is our form? Shanti. What is our nature? Shanti. What is our Swarupa? It is also Shanti only. Now this Shanti is the very Swabhava of man. It is the force which comes to the aid of those who try to develop Viveka, Vairagya and Vichakshana, discrimination, renunciation and keenness of intellect. It is the Shanti is the force that comes to our help when we are trying to develop Viveka, Vivekana and discrimination. Nitya Nitya, Vastu Vivekam. What is real and what is unreal? What is eternal and what is temporary? When we have to sit and discriminate, unless we are peaceful, we cannot discriminate. When you are agitated, can you discriminate? You are sad. Sadness has brought agitation to you. In that state of sadness, can you discriminate and say, this sadness is all unreal. It is all ego related. Nothing for me. Will you be able to recognize at that time? You have got to be at a certain stage of Shanti, a state of peace, so that in that detached state you can sit there happily and discriminate. If you are standing on the shores of the ocean, you can count the waves. If you are drowning in the ocean, can you count the waves? If you are already caught up in the waves, can you count them? Likewise, if we are not already in a state of Shanti, then We cannot even have viveka. Discrimination itself is not possible. If discrimination itself is not possible, is vairagya alone possible? What is vairagya abdina? Giving up of that which is not necessary to me. Giving up of that which is causing sorrow to me. Adhan pariya vairagyam na kuda, it is not giving up of things around you. It is not giving up objects or people or family, etc. Vairagyam na enna? What is real vairagya abdina? Giving up of reasons to be unhappy. Giving up reasons to being unhappy. Things don't make you unhappy. Objects and people do not make you unhappy. You find a reason to be unhappy, so you're unhappy. Yeah, the same person may do the same thing, but you'll be happy. You may choose to be happy. Example. You had a full meal. Your stomach is full. You're contented. You had a good meal. You're just sitting there, lazing around. The child is playing, making some noise. Jumping up and down, screaming. Why so much shouting? Huh? I mean, you're so peaceful. No? You're so much in a state of fulfillment. We are really, our topa has been filled up. Stomach is filled up. Adanala, we cannot be bothered. We can't be annoyed. Quiet, please. Don't make so much noise. On the other hand, you're hungry. And there is no sign of food being prepared also. You are feeling hungry, there is not even the rumble and tumble of vessels in the kitchen. The child is making noise. Hey, can't you keep quiet? Why are you making so much noise? Same child, same action, depending upon your state of being, in one play, one time and one situation, you will say, hey, don't make so much noise. Another time, you will yell at them. Is the child the reason? No. Is the play, the screaming the reason? No. Then what is the reason? No. You did not have any reason to find fault with that at that time, so you were happy. Now you have a reason. Is hunger the reason? Hunger is also not the reason. Hunger is also, hunger not the reason. So you are saying, I am not going to eat today. It's for Bhagavan's sake, I am not going to eat. When you are doing that, you are actually happy that you are hungry. You are accomplishing something. You are achieving something. For the sake of the Lord, I am not going to eat. Even when hunger comes, it's okay. It's all for Him. I really feel very happy that I am able to sustain this much. You will pat yourself in the back. Isn't it? When you finished eating, you will pat yourself in the tummy. But when you are struggling and hungry, that hunger, when it is done for a reason, will not make you unhappy. It will give you happiness instead. Hunger alone is also not the cause. So, what is vairagya? What is renunciation, detachment? It is detaching yourself from dukkha samyoga viyogaha. Bhagavan in the Bhagavad Gita beautifully phrases it. Varahana phrasing. Dukkha samyoga viyoga. Dukkha, sorrow. Dukkhana, sorrow. Samyoga means union with sorrow. Samyoga means union. Sampurnamana union. Samyoga, samyak yoga. Fully identifying yourself with sorrow. Fully being united with sorrow. Totally miserable. Viyoga, separation. Viyoga means separation. Separation from union with sorrow. Ida Bhagavad Gita words. In dukkha viyoga nishana porado. Is the word dukkha viyoga not enough? Dukkha viyoga, separation from sorrow. Is that not enough? No, because dukkha samyoga viyoga, because samyoga is what you have accomplished. You have gone and embraced dukkha. Dukkha has not embraced you. You went and embraced dukkha. So you cannot separate yourself from dukkha until you stop embracing it. So what is vairagya? Vairagya is not attaching yourself to reasons for sorrow. Because those reasons abound. There will never be any end to those reasons. Reasons for sorrow will be infinite. If it is raining, you will say, oh, it is raining. If it is not raining, you will say there is no rain at all. If it is hot, you will say it is so hot. If it is cloudy, so gloomy, it is not sunny at all. Whether it is sunny or not sunny, we will be gloomy. Analyze it. Actually, you analyze, you look in your own lives and think about all the various things that are happening. The things that you are sad about, you analyze it. You are only sad about it because somehow it feels nice for you to be sad about. Otherwise, you will not be sad. This is a great, all humans are masochists. As Obliques would say, these humans are crazy. Why would you want to be sad? We find some perverse delight in being sad. That is why we choose all kinds of reasons to be sad. We keep complaining. If things are going wrong, we complain things are going wrong. If things are all going right, we will complain. If for a while everything is going smooth, then your thought will come, everything is going smooth. I don't know when it is all going to go south. After you will become afraid. So, Vairagya. The Vairagya na enna? Giving up of sorrow. That is not possible unless Shanti is there. Shanti has to prevail before we can understand that even our sorrow is stupid. It is unnecessary. It is useless. It is not required. We will be able to get out of the sorrow. You just think about it a little while. Do you gain anything by being sad? Do you actually gain anything from being sorrowful? No. No. Okay. Second, does the event have to change for your sorrow to go? No. Not necessary. For instance, you may have been sad that Scott Morrison became Prime Minister. Because you may have voted for the other party. So you may have become sad. Are you still sad? The event does not change. He is still the Prime Minister. Then what happened? You got used to it. You got over it. You forgot about it. You moved on. You are no longer sad. So what does it mean? I'm sad because of an event, but it is not necessary for that event to change for my sorrow to go away. I can walk away from sorrow. Yes? Do I gain anything from my sorrow? No. Just because I'm sad, is Scott Morrison going to resign? No. To set the record, I'm not sad that Scott Morrison is Prime Minister. I'm just saying. Is he going to resign because somebody is sad? No, not necessarily. So his sadness is useless. Will the sorrow remain until his term is finished? Not so. He will become alright after some time. Then that sorrow is useless, isn't it? Whatever sorrow you felt is useless. Always remember this. Whatever sorrow you feel is useless. Because in time, when you look back, you will say, it has gone away. Either the reason itself is gone or you became used to it. You found it of less value. But it is not possible unless Shanti prevails. Only then we can have this Vairagya. Vichakshana. The third quality Swami uses here is Vichakshana. Keenness of intellect. Discrimination, both Viveka and Vairagya need Vichakshana. That sharpness to discriminate, to distinguish and to let go of it. The Ellathukume Shanti is necessary. Shanti is but a kala of the Atma itself. It is an aspect of the Atma. In all actions, in all energies, in all experiences, just as the Atma is present, so also Shanti is present. Just as the Atma has no beginning nor end, so Shanti has no beginning nor end. No blemish can mar it. It is equaled only by itself. It cannot be compared to anything else. What is Shanti? It is but an aspect of the Atma. It is like the Atma. It is everywhere. It is omnipresent. In all your activities, Shanti is there. In all Shaktis, Shanti is there. In all Anubhavas, in all experiences, Shanti is prevalent. Even in the experience of Ashanti, Shanti is present. Because you cannot use the word Ashanti without first putting Shanti in it, no? What is Ashanti? No peace. But to say Ashanti itself, you have got to say the word Shanti. Appa thane Ashanti varum. That means Shanti is actually present even in the word Ashanti. Likewise, Shanti is present even when you are not feeling peaceful. How can that be? Shanti is omnipresent, but because you are focusing on things other than Shanti, you are restless. Because you are focusing on things other than Shanti, you are restless. If you focus on Shanti, you will be peaceful. If you focus on Shanti itself, you will be peaceful. Because you are focusing on other things, you are not peaceful. That is why Swami is saying, let go of all of those things, Shanti will be there. But how should the Shanti be? Shanti must be manifested in feeling, word, posture and deed. Manas, Vak, Kaya and Karma. Manas, Vak, Kaya, Karma. In the same uniform, equal measure. Then Shanti becomes Prashanti or real Shanti. Where should Shanti be? Manas, Vak, Kaya and Karma. Manas, the mind. Vak, in the speech. Kaya, in the body. And in Karma, in your action. And it's not that it should be more in the mind, less in the... Swami eppadi solrarna, it should be equal, uniform, in equal measure in all four. Mentally peaceful. I'm mentally peaceful, but I'm yelling at everybody. அப்படின்னா முடியாது. ஏன்னா அப்போ that yelling also, if you are affected in the words, or if the words go back and affect you, then your Shanti is gone. How should you be? Swami, I was reading a little thing about Swami. Swami was scolding somebody very much. Swami went to the hospital. Swami once went to the hospital, and for 1 hour he blasted all the doctors there. Blasted them. And after that he said, take my blood pressure. So then they took the blood pressure, it was 120 over 80. And Swami said, that is because when I'm angry, my anger is only from the lips. When you are angry from the heart. So your blood boils and your pressure increases. When I am angry, it is only lip angry. We have seen Swami like that. We have actually seen Swami like that. Swami will scold somebody. Then he'll turn and give a nice smile to us. Then he'll go and turn. Then he'll turn and give a nice smile. இந்த பக்கம் பார்த்தா கோவம், இந்த பக்கம் பார்த்து சீற்றத்தோடு அருளும். Alvar refers to Lord Narasimha by using these words. சீற்றத்தோடு அருளும். சீற்றம் அப்படின்னா anger. அருள் அப்படின்னா grace. So he had anger towards Hiranyakashipu, but he had sweet smile towards Prahlada. The same lion face now. Same lion face, but when Hiranyakashipu looked at it, he saw anger in that face. When Prahlada looked at it, he saw a sweet, kind, sweet smile, love-filled smile. Swami would do that. Because Vak may be using certain words, but there is no anger in the word. Harsh words may be used. You don't have any brains. Are you an idiot? Although the words are you an idiot, there is no anger in the words. Because there is no anger in the heart. Manasala anger illa. So manasala anger. When will you be angry in the mind? See, a common situation comes when parents have to scold children. Because maile eraga poduna podadunu solluva. If you look at the child, Kanama, why don't you behave properly? Every night is the child going to behave properly? Hey! Then the child will behave properly. Otherwise, very sweetly, very nicely, you tell the child, no, I don't know. I have not seen it work in my parenting. Maybe my children are like that, I do not know. Once in a while, you have to use certain words. But are you angry? You will be angry when they have irritated you. If suppose they have irritated you and then you are yelling at them, there is a clear difference between you shouting at your child because the child has irritated you, whereas you shouting at the child to make the child become aware of something. Hey, look out! There is a difference between exclaiming to alert the child to something. But there is a difference when you are yelling at the child because it is coming from your irritation. Your ashanti, if you are yelling, angada manasala shanti illa. There is no shanti within. Therefore, if the words also will become drenched with the same ashanti. Vak, kayam, body. Body shantama irukano. Body also should be peaceful, not agitated. Agitated is not manasli shanti irukadu. That's why Swami is going to later on talk about asanam and all that. In Prasanthi Vahini. Stiram Sukham Asanam. How should your posture be? They'll constantly keep tapping something. The thigh will be going up and down, up and down, up and down, looking here and there. But what will happen? Shanti will not be there. Swami would give the example. He would say, there is a container with water in it, as a pot with water. If the pot is shaking, will the water alone be able to remain still? Pot is the body, water is the manasa, mind. If the body is shaking, then the water called the manas inside also will be shaking. Sit steady, sit quietly, so manasu, vak, kaya. Finally, enga karma. The actions that we do. How does Shanti manifest itself in action? Not doing anything in haste. Rushing around, running around. What happens? More mistakes come. Not only more mistakes come, you become agitated. If you do everything in time, doesn't mean that what has to be done today, you finally end up finishing tomorrow. I'm doing it slowly, very peacefully I'm doing. When is this due? It is due today. Don't worry, you'll get it by tomorrow because I'll do it peacefully. Do it peacefully, but do it at the correct speed. But don't be agitated. Doing things in haste, in agitation is different to doing things at the right speed. When are you agitated again? Shanti is not there. So you become agitated in your action also. Oh, they are coming. I have to do it quickly. You are building yourself already. Our agitation is already building up within us. Our nervousness is building up within us. Our tension is building up within us in our actions. What will that do? Nervousness in your action will translate to restlessness in your body. Restlessness in your body will translate to restlessness in your words. Restlessness in your words will translate to restlessness in the mind. Manas, vak, kaya, karma. So, we've got to be aware. We've got to become very vigilant and making sure that this Shanti is percolating through all these four levels. Shanti must be manifested in all of these four. Only then Shanti becomes Prashanti, the real Shanti. Bereft of such peace, one cannot hope to get either worldly, otherworldly, or happiness or kaivalya. Neither happiness here, nor happiness in some other world, swarga, etc., nor even kaivalya, nor even jnana. Shanti is necessary for iha, para, and kaivalya. Shanti is the birthplace of all happiness and all joy. Tyagaraja knew this, for he sang Shantamuleka Saukhyamuledu. One of his songs, very famous songs it is, and in that he says, without Shanti, there is no Saukhya. Saukhya na happiness. And where does it come na? Bhagavad Gita lavaro. These exact words come in Bhagavad Gita. Without Shanti, kuta sukham. If a person does not have Shanti, then how can he have happiness? What does that mean? It means what we are currently considering as happiness is not happiness. Shanti generated happiness alone can be called happiness. The rest of it is only called pleasure. Happiness illa. Adur pleasure. Pleasure can also be restless. You go on a roller coaster, up and down. You're happy. Yeah, I went. It is some kind of pleasure, but it's not happiness because you're terrified. When people come down the roller coaster, they take photos. No, in our countries, they take photos when you're coming on the roller coaster. Then, as you go out, you can buy the photos, and you can see your face, sukara mukhama, like a pig face or like a dog face. Have you seen anybody come down a roller coaster in Shanti? They're coming in terror. And they're confusing the terror to be happiness. Fundamentally, how wrong we are, Patkungo. Fundamental mistake we are doing. We do not even understand what is Ananda, what is happiness. Swami makes it very clear. Shantamuleka Saukhyamuledu. All the happiness that you are enjoying without Shanti cannot be called happiness at all. We are fooling ourselves. We are becoming deluded into thinking that is Shanti. Sukha is associated with sleep. Sukhamaham swapsam nishalva. I slept happily. There is Shanti in sleep. There is Shanti in sleep. That is why we say Sukhamaham Swapi means I slept happily. I slept with sukha. Shantamuleka Saukyamuledu. This is something that all of us have to make note. And stop seeking all those kinds of happinesses that are not associated with peace. Because the more we seek those thrills, the less shanti we will have, the less peace we will have in ourselves. Thrille shanti, joy. All men need it, whoever they are, Dantins or Vedantins, ascetics or scholars, pious men or philosophers. Without peace, the world cannot sustain itself for even a moment. Absence of mere anger cannot be taken as peace. The winning of a desired object and the satisfaction one gets then should not be confused with shanti. Again, Swami is clarifying. Shanti na kovam illama irukkan. Romba shantam. Yen kovam illa. He is very peaceful because he doesn't have anger. Absence of anger is not shanti. Mere absence of anger alone cannot be construed as shanti. When we are restless to fulfill a desire and the desire is fulfilled, we have a satisfaction and go to tripti. The tripti is not shanti. Why? Swami gives the reason for it. The shanti that has pervaded the heart must not be shaken subsequently for any reason. That type of shanti alone deserves to be called prashanti. Prashanti has no ups and downs. It cannot be partial in adversity and complete in prosperity. It cannot be one thing today and another thing tomorrow. Maintaining the same even flow of ananda, always, that is prashanti. Without shanti, no ananda. Maintaining that ananda always is alone true shanti. It's a one feeding into the other situation. Shanti leka anandamu ledu. Shantamu leka saukyamu ledu. Without shanti, happiness cannot be had. But once you have had that happiness through shanti, what is your next step? Sustaining that ananda. Refusing to becoming sad. Refuse to become sad. That is a great secret to happiness. And I've shared it with many people. I've said, do you want to know the secret to happiness? The great secret, guarded secret. What is it? Refuse to be sad. If you refuse to be sad, who can make you sad? No, you do whatever you want. I'm going to be happy. Who can make you sad? No matter what you say, they will not become sad because they have decided to become happy. On the other hand, if you've decided to become sad, who can make you happy? Once you have decided, once you made up your mind to become sad, no matter what anyone says, you will take it in the wrong way. And who's going to get affected by it? They are not going to get affected. We are only going to get affected. So maintaining that same even flow, it is not partial in adversity. When sadness, sorrow or difficulty comes, we are not peaceful. And then when prosperity comes, we are peaceful. That is not prashanti. Prashanti, on the other hand, is constant. Ipo, Prasanthi Vahini tells you and makes you understand how to earn it, how it can be utilized, and what its attributes are. Then Swami is coming into the thing. He is going to say Prasanthi Vahini, he is going to reveal to us. He has told us what the Shanti is, but what are its attributes? How do you earn it? How do you utilize it? How do you enjoy it? Swami is going to lay out all the steps for us. If we follow it, we will attain that. Apo, some more on that. Swami says every single sadhaka has the legitimate right to earn this Prashanti. It is not only for some people. So he must learn the path by which it can be earned. Man, the world today is suffering from selfish politics, nihilistic religion and heartless competition. This is indeed a disgraceful state of affairs. Man has completely forgotten his fundamental divine nature. At such a crisis, the thing that is most urgent is Shanti and Prema. Swami can hardly use the word Shanti alone. Shanti Prema. He always has to use the word Prema along with it. Shanti Prema Lato. The world today is like a patient afflicted with a disease. The disease of Dushta Swabhava. Now we are coming to the crux of it. What is the problem? How do you solve the problem? What is the problem? Dushta Swabhava. Swami uses the word Dushta Swabhava. Bad conduct. Dushta, evil, bad conduct. Swabhava, nature. What is that bad nature? Swami already spoken about it. Selfishness, competitiveness. Competition. Ella competition thane. I alone should get it, nobody else should get it. No competition. Whenever you want to win in a competition, what does it mean? I want to get it, nobody else can get it. I should be first. We think it's a good thing. What does I should be first mean? Nobody else should be first. And if everybody else is first, now you can't be first. There's only one first prize. No? I alone should become first. Although you are not saying it, but it is implied that others should not be allowed to be first. That's why I am trying to do everything to beat everybody else. The competition. And how is that competition? Swami says heartless competition. Selfishness in politics, in religion, in everything, in family life, everywhere there is selfishness. The dushta sabhava mein, selfishness alone is this dushta sabhava. Swami just uses the word dushta sabhava. Now what is dushta sabhava? Selfishness than dushta sabhava. Swarthamo swaprayojanamu. Wanting things for oneself. I should have it. I should have it. I should have it. This is swartham. There are drugs which will cure the dreaded disease. And no other medicine can ameliorate this illness. To get Shanti, Prema is the only means. The fuel Prema yields the divine flame of Shanti. Prema brings about the unity of all mankind, and this unity combined with spiritual knowledge will bring about world peace. Swami ki fundamental Prasanthi Vahini kuda Prema Vahini dane. Prema is the only method by which the Shanti can be secured, because the disease is selfishness. The disease is selfishness. When you get rid of the disease, you have Shanti. But what is the medicine that can get rid of selfishness? Prema alone can get rid of selfishness. If a person is suffering from a bacterial disease, no point giving him antiviral, no? Or antifungal. He has to be given an antibacterial. An antibiotic has to be prescribed for him. Like that, when selfishness is the reason for my Ashanti, then what is the only medicine that can be given to it? Logical. Something that gets rid of my selfishness. And what is the only thing that can get rid of it? Prema alone can get rid of selfishness. This Prema brings about a unity among mankind, but that alone is also not enough. Along with it, what is required? Atma Jnana is also required before the Shanti can be enjoyed. Without Atma Vidya, there can be no lasting Shanti, the temporary Shanti. Lasting Shanti, Brahma Vidya is required. Adanala Swami says, Atma Sadhana is the basic foundation for successful living. Through that alone can man attain real and lasting peace. Without peace, there can be no happiness. Shanti is the very nature of the Atma. Shantoyam Atma. It coexists only with a pure heart. It is never associated with a greedy heart full of desires. Shanti is the decoration of Yogeshwaras, Rishis and Satpurushas. Inner peace does not depend upon external conditions. It will flee away from the selfish and the sensual. It hates the company of such persons. It is the characteristic of the inner Atma, wonderful, unshakable and permanent. Where will Shanti reside? It is the nature of the Atma, but it is manifesting itself only in a heart that is pure. And many times I have said this. What is a pure heart? One that is not impure. What is impure? I am pure. I, ahankara. M, mamakara. I and mine. If I and mine are removed from it, it becomes pure already. Impure, I am adthuru. Take out I am, it is pure. What is impurity of the heart? People say, don't have impure thoughts. Don't have impure bhavas in you. Pavitramaina bhavamalu. Swami Swami would always keep saying, Pavitramaina bhavamalu. If you do not have pavitra bhavas, you cannot have prasannata in you. Yeah. If you want to have prasannata within you, you've got to have pavitrata within you. Apata akhladam will arise in you. Anandam will arise in you. Pavitrata should be there. What is pavitra bhava? Unselfish bhava is pavitra bhava. Where there is selfishness, there is impurity. There is no other impurity. Impure thoughts na yado nanachika vanda. We do not think impure thoughts means this thought, that nothing. Any thought that is associated with selfishness is already impure. Selfishness is the malinyam, the impurity that is making everything impure. Adhanala, what can get rid of it? Abdina, prema alone can get rid of this impurity called selfishness. Swami says that Shanti will flee away from the selfish. Shanti will flee away from the selfish people cannot have any Shanti at all. They cannot enjoy. Who will have it instead? Yogeshwaras, Rishis and Satpurushas. What has made them Yogeshwaras, Rishis and Satpurushas? The fact that they have gotten rid of their selfishness and they are striving for the entirety of mankind is what makes them a Satpurusha, is it not? Mahatma, Satpurusha, who do we say as a Satpurusha? Somebody who is sitting closed in his own house, you don't even know about him because he is sitting enjoying Ananda. Will you call him Satpurusha? No. You will not even know about him. You will not even know about him. Who can be called Satpurusha? A person who is working for everybody. The person who is living his life for others. Everybody included. Every Mahatma becomes included in that. Every Mahatma becomes included in that. Even a Paramajnani is only living for the sake of others. There is no Swecha in them. There is only Parecha in them. There is no Swartham in them. There is only Parartham in them. Swartham, for my sake. Will a Jnani, a Mahatma do things for his own sake? It is all done for the sake of others. Yeah. Doesn't matter who it is. Take anybody, any Mahatma, any Mahapurusha, any saint, he has to be selfless. Even if he is yelling at you, it is only because of his selflessness. Nisargadatta Maharaj in Mumbai, there was Nisargadatta Maharaj. He would bark at everybody who would come to him. The way he would speak itself, it was the nature of speaking. It was like machine gun fire. Have you heard? You cannot understand a word of it. Marathi larke. YouTube la parango. You can go on YouTube, you can search for it. The way he speaks to them. Why is he scolding them? We also don't understand Marathi. We think he's scolding them, he's blasting them. And that's the way he speaks. He will also blast them. But why? For some joy of his own? He could have kept quiet. Every day, morning and evening, he will receive people. He will talk to them. Any Mahatma we take. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, Ramana Bhagavan, and Yogi Ram Sarat Kumar, Swami Kekvevanda. All of them lived only for the sake of others. That is why we call them Mahapurushas, Yogeshwaras, Rishis, Satpurushas, Mahatmas, etc. Selfishness cannot make one person Mahatma. Selflessness alone can make them a Mahatma. Who can enjoy Shanti? Shanti becomes the ornament. Swami uses the word here, ornament, Abharana. It becomes the Abharana, the ornament or a decoration for those Yogeshwaras, Mahatmas and Mahapurushas, Satpurushas who are living their lives for others, selflessly. It is not for selfish people. It is the inner characteristic of the Atma. Wonderful, unshakable, permanent. Shanti is full of spiritual uplift and the wisdom that is the natural accompaniment of bliss. Genuine Shanti can be won only through restraining the vrittis of the Chitta. Chitta vritti nirodha. Patanjali in his Yoga Sutra says, Yoga Chitta vritti nirodha. What is yoga? Yoga is Shanti only. What is yoga? Not the asanas that you do. Edo Paschimottasana pannain, Tadasana pannain. Yoga. That is only asana aspect of yoga. What is yoga? A complete union is yoga. But when does it happen? Chitta vritti nirodha. When all the activities of the mind come to a rest, a standstill, then Shanti is attained. But Shanti, genuine Shanti is won only through restraining the vrittis of the Chitta, the mental activities. Why? Because the mind is the one that is constantly active and finding reasons to be agitated and miserable. Mind is doing that all the time. Ellathukku agitation varum. And it's unique. It's wonderful. It will worry about something that has to happen next month. Next month you may have to move. And worry will start for it. Why worry from now on? Next month, 2 days before the moving, can we not worry about it? See, how did we study for exams? Did we study from day one? We just enjoyed life. Then 10 days before exam, we studied. Poor me. That is how I studied. 10 days before the exam, you sit down, you allocate time for you study. Why study all the time? That is how I studied. Because it is worth studying God all the time. ఆనందం కడతానే చదువులన్నీ చదివి చదివి చావంగనేటికి చావులేని చదువు చదువవలై కర్పారి రామభిరానయ్యల్లాల్ மற்றும் కర్పారు. Just as we only studied before the exam, like that, worry only before the event. You tell yourself, fine, I'm going to worry. I'm going to, in fact, schedule it. Open your, calendar. I'll a new event. Whole day. If you want a whole day event also, you can, or you can make it from timed event also with a reminder 15 minutes prior to it. Also, you can say, time to worry. Then when that thing comes up, you worry at that time. But don't worry for now itself. For what has to happen later, why start worrying now? Enjoy now, worry later. If at all you have to worry. And then when I was in Parthi, I wrote to myself this. Sometimes, another guy doesn't know. Atma, Shanti is in front of us, but we are searching for it everywhere. I saw a very beautiful Doha, modern Doha. Google खोजे, Yahoo खोजे, और खोजे Bing, कहत कबीरा सुनबई साधो, you gotta search within. Google खोजे, Yahoo खोजे, और खोजे Bing. No, Google, Yahoo and Bing are search engines. Khoje means to search. Google searches, Yahoo searches, Bing searches. Kahat Kabira Sunubhai Sadho. But Kabir says, oh wise man, listen, you gotta search within. Where should you search? Where should we get Shanti? No point searching for Shanti here and there, it is in front of you. So search in the right place. Search within. Restraining the activities of the mind, because that is what is creating this trouble for us. Even when there is no need to be worried, we are already worried. What I was talking about is the thing I learned in Prasanthi. When I first went and joined, before coming to Parthi, I was very bad in studying by myself. I would get the top marks, but I was very bad in studying by myself. Somebody has to always sit and force me to study. My mother would keep forcing me to study. Study. But once I studied, I would always get top marks. So when I came to Parthi, I found freedom. There was nobody to tell me to study. And I didn't know how to handle it. So I handled it in the entirely wrong way. I studied every day. You will not believe it. Every day, every day I will come back and whatever was taught that day, I will make notes of it, I will study it. And like this, I studied for about 2 or 3 months when I first joined Bharti hostel until mid-semester exam. Mid-semester exam, I studied in this manner. And I wrote the exam and I got good marks and I was very happy. After mid-semester exam finished, there was a lull. At that time, I chanced upon the book Autobiography of the Yogi by Paramahamsa Yogananda. When I read that book, it became some kind of like a thirst was being slaked by it. An inner thirst was being fulfilled. I became mad. I said, I always was mad for God. Now I found somebody who has even gone to America being mad with God. So I said, madness is legitimate, so it's okay. So I became totally mad. After that, I didn't study anything. I only read the book again and again and again and again and again. And I read autobiography. I would meditate. I would keep thinking about Swami. Did all of that. Slowly, end semester exams came. So we used to have a mid-semester exam and an end semester exam. End semester exam came. Bharta, I'm only reading Autobiography of Yogi. Haven't read biology. Bioscience student I was. Biography, I'm reading. Biology, I'm not reading. What to do? So autobiography, Madhuri. Then last 10 days I studied something and I got the same marks that I got as I got in mid-semester. I said, I learned a great valuable lesson. What was the lesson I learned? Never postpone your leisure time. You will never get it back. Because you can get the work done at the end. Somehow the work will get done at the end. Why should I worry finish doing the work until then? Now, enjoy life now. Giving yourself up to God. Enjoy life na adukkaga edho oor suttala. And go around gallivanting around town. No, what was enjoyment now? What is enjoyment? Happiness is union with God. Adhanala, you spend your time devoted to God in happiness and shanti. Don't spend all the time now from now on worrying. It's not worth it. You think you worry now, you'll be happy later. It is not going to happen. If you worry now, you'll worry later also. இப்போ படிச்சேங்கிறதுக்காக எக்ஸாம் படிக்காம இருக்க முடியுமா? Because I studied every day, can I stop studying before the exam? No, at that time also I have to study. Now also I have to study. So why not study only before the exam? What a wise words for all children. That's what they teach in Australia also. No? You only study before VC. Until VC, who study? It's all fun. VC only they study. That's the right way to be. Last la padicha porum. If you worry now, you'll worry later also. Instead, don't worry now. If at all you still have to worry at the end, you worry. But don't waste the precious time that you have now that you can spend in peace in worry. Therefore, Shanti is only won through the restraining the vrittis of the chitta. Then alone can it be called Prasanthi. The experience of that stage is the Prasanthi Vahini. Calming the mental agitation that surges like waves, leveling the swirls and whirls of likes, dislikes, love, hate, sorrow, joy, hope, despair. Shanti is earned and maintained without any disturbance. How do we earn and maintain Shanti? By calming the mental agitation that surges like waves. And at the moment you are upset, what happens? You are assaulted by thoughts. More and more and more of negative thoughts keep assaulting you. Yeah. Kausalya says in the Ramayana, sorrow is the greatest enemy. Dukkam dam paramavairi ni solra. She says the greatest enemy because when she was sad, she did not know what she was doing. She started to scold Dasharatha and insult Dasharatha. But Dasharatha says, Prasidame Devi, Amma, be happy towards me, be graceful towards me, don't scold me like this. I'm reaching the last moment of my life. Don't torture me so. Kausalya feels the sorrow. She falls at his feet and says, forgive me. Because of sorrow, I lost my composure. And sorrow comes when agitation starts, then waves and waves and waves of it starts to batter us. And we cannot get rid of it at that time. But if you want Shanti, on the other hand, Swami says, you've got to calm those waves of the mind. Calming the waves of the mind that surge, their mental agitation that surges forth like waves. You've got to level the whirlpools of likes and dislikes, love, hate, sorrow and joy, hope and despair, all the dualities. And then we are tossed between these dualities. Oh, it did not come. Oh, will it come? I don't know if it will all happen. It is happening. Look how agitated we become. But Swami says, you've got to overcome all of this before you can earn and maintain Shanti without disturbance. The Swami is hopefully going to tell us how to conquer all of this. That's Prasanthi Vahini. He is telling what has to be conquered. He has told us what is Shanti, what cannot be considered as Shanti, and what alone can be considered as Shanti. Who can have Shanti? Although it is the birthright of all of us, it will flee from those who are selfish. I am selfish. Can I get Shanti? Well, you have a right to attain Shanti. But Shanti does not want to stay with you. We can't do anything about it. You have a right to attain Shanti, but Shanti flees from the selfish. Then we've got to overcome selfishness. We've got to become selfless. We've got to still the mental agitations, conquer the waves of mental agitation, put an end to the dualities of likes and dislikes, love and hate, joy and sorrow, hope and despair. Only then Shanti can be earned, maintained without disturbance. This kind of Shanti, how will we get it today? Swami takes us to the highest level. Swami's Shanti is not a worldly Shanti. Swami says, Shanti is of the nature of the Atma. Atma is present in every object. Atma is imperishable. Atma does not die like the body and the mind. It is universal. As it is very, very subtle, it cannot be known through our intellect or thoughts. It is the very birthplace of knowledge. Jnana is that which shows the way to the ripening, the fruition, the freedom, the immortality, the eternal happiness, the eternal peace. So, Shanti also partakes of these characteristics. Knowledge of the Atma destroys illusion, doubt and sorrow. Hence, Atma Jnana confers the highest Shanti. Highest Shanti, Vanavana, mere effort cannot bring highest Shanti to you. Atma Jnana has to be attained before Shanti can be enjoyed. Bhagavad Jnana should be attained. Self-realization should be had. You should know the truth of who you are. Asalu nenu evaru. In reality, who am I? The knowledge of who am I is necessary before we can enjoy Shanti, and Shanti is the aim and purpose of living. And with it, holiness and happiness. So, Shanti is like the Atma. Just as Atma is omnipresent, Shanti is omnipresent. But just as although the Atma is omnipresent, not everybody realizes it, so also Shanti is omnipresent, but not everybody enjoys it. About the parallel Swami is bringing together. In the end, he joins them and says, therefore, without Atma Jnana, there is no Prashanti. Atma Mariye Shanti. Omnipresent, omnipresent. Not everybody gets it, not everybody gets it. It's all the same. Finally, he says, without Atma Jnana, there cannot be any Shanti. Prashanti will not be there without Atma Jnana, because Atma Jnana destroys illusion, doubt and sorrow. What are the things that are disturbing our Shanti? Ajnana, Sandeha and Dukkha. Illusion, doubt and sorrow. Viparita Buddhi. Sandeha, Ajnana, Sandeha and Viparita Buddhi. Viparita. These are the three things that are Dushtamam Tadehal Moondrum Todarad Sarupa Jnana Nishtana Iruttalide Nisayum Udaviyame. Abdin Kaivalena Manita. Dushtamam Tadehal. Three obstacles. Three enemies. What are these three enemies? Ajnana, ignorance, Sandeha, doubt, and Viparita, sorrow, Dukkha. Now, these three things can be destroyed only through Atma Jnana. So, only when Atma Jnana dawns upon us, within us, that we can enjoy Shanti, which is obtained through the absence of the destruction of Ajnana, Sandeha, and Viparita. I will stop here. सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामया सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु ॐ शान्ति 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 हरि ओम तत्सत् श्री साई ईश्वरार्पणमस्तु।